Welcome back, New Jersey football fans, to the South Jersey Football Frenzy Show here from Studio B. I'm here with Coach Tim McEnany. Coach,
Trip.
Good to see you, man.
It's good to be here, Trip.
Got the IU on, repping the Hoosiers.
Oh, yeah. Another football season, and IU's in the breath of football conversations.
Yeah, it's crazy how things have changed. It used to just be basketball season for IU, and, baseball when Kyle Schwarber was there. Of course, now, again, National League East Division champion Kyle Schwarber. I know you're happy about that.
Yeah, that's why I'm tired. I was one of the maybe 10 Philadelphia people watching at 2 a.m. when the Phils clinched the division. So, yeah, good stuff.
Diehard fan, as always. Welcome back, everybody. This is the second installment of the year. A lot of good stuff to talk about today. We got some kids that are definitely worthy of recognition. We're going to shout them out, talk about the big games we have coming up this weekend. And in addition, we got a great Not of the Week countdown that I'm looking forward to. After we said last week, we got to count these down. We saw a lot of people send in nods. It was a big weekend for defensive and special team scores.
Big weekend for scores on the knots, non-offensive touchdowns.
That's right.
The knots. They're game changers. I mean, I know it'll flow out about ball control. I know some of the Eagle people in the comments and this, that, and the other thing, because I think in general, the goal of the game is to win, no? How do they measure? Is it to win or how is it? It's to win, no?
I think wins
Win.
I think wins end up putting you in the postseason in better standing than people with less wins than you.
Yeah.
I think then once you're there, you try to win those games.
And then you win. You try to win at the end.
Yeah, then you try to win at the end and be the last team to win.
You win. You just keep winning.
Yeah, I think that is true, and I think.
Look, my dad. I'll say I'm going to bring up a Vince Mack early in the show.
Hit me.
Vince Mack. Winning is sufficient glory for all. Right? Football is the.
Did he come up with that?
I don't know, but he said it a lot because he didn't care who got credit for winning a football game. It really didn't matter because it's the ultimate team sport. So, very rarely do people talk about offensive guards.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, there's offense, there's defense, there's special teams, there's turn the ball over, hold the ball, control the ball, etc. Win.
Once you win, the complaints start to file in on everything because now people are jealous of your success.
But the key is internally as a program, as a team, if you can keep fighting. We have a Phillies team that's now playing out of their mind because they've all decided to buy into how they're playing as a program.
As a unit.
I'm hoping our Philadelphia Eagles across the river will continue to buy in and play as a unit. But
I mean, look,
we don't know.
There's no question. I mean, the one thing we have to find out is the plate discipline going to be there in October? That's been the case the last few years. Well, this is not a baseball show, so let's get back to football.
We do that later.
The West Jersey Football Coaches Association sponsors the show. I want to thank them. The WJFCA established to promote, improve, and unite football in South Jersey. They've done just that. They've raised $100,000 over a few short years here. They donate to National Football Foundation and the Touchdown Club in New Jersey, in addition to donating to other charities. Thank you, West Jersey Football Coaches Association, for your sponsorship of the show. I want to shout out to Dave O'Sullivan. If you're watching right now on the SJ Glory Days Facebook page, Sully, this is his page, and he's the reason we have this platform. Be sure to visit his site at sjglorydays.com. My columns on Friday night are going to be posted there. They have been for the last couple of years. They continue to be posted there after the game. And the game I was at was an easy one to write on Friday, Mac. You had Winslow and Bergen Catholic, and I'll tell you, let's start with Bergen Catholic. I mean, there's no secret right away why they are the red and gold standard in New Jersey. At every position, they got somebody who is an incredible player, is big, is fast. Their defensive backs catch like wide receivers. They can do everything and anything and beat you however they want to. Very impressed with the Crusaders. Amare Newell got the hat. He had 2 interceptions in the first half for them, number 27 for Bergen Catholic. They're the second North Jersey school to get the hat twice behind Old Tappan, who got them both in, I think, state finals, so that's pretty good too, the Golden Knights. But
Jimmy's and Joe's, right? Another old saying, right? X's and O's or Jimmy's and Joe's, and Bergen's got a lot of.
They got both.
Well, I know they do the X's and O's, but they got Jimmys and Joes too. And when you got both, when you have a crew that can do what they do as a coaching staff year in and year out, and the talent that Bergen attracts, again, and puts on the field, there's just guys waiting in the line. I'm chomping at the bit to get on the next. Being second string at Bergen is.
Yeah.
You're probably a pretty good player at that space too.
Yeah, and Mac, for Winslow, they came out and they really never got out of the starting blocks. Self-inflicted mistakes. I don't think they were as accurate. They were not crisp. And, against any team that's going to put you behind the 8 ball, and against a team like Bergen Catholic,
right.
It's going to put you right out in the parking lot. And that's exactly what happened. I talked to Coach Belton after the game. He said, we could play anybody. And we could line up against anybody, and a lot of these teams we would probably, he didn't say this, but I'm adding a color for myself, we'd probably blow them out.
Oh,
we want to play somebody who shows us what our flaws are and expose our weaknesses, not just as a team, but as individuals. You want to play against the best. He was happy seeing those things have come to light, and he can coach on them. He's got a big one this week we'll get to towards the end of the show. But, that is the challenge. And I think they had a lot of coachable moments on Friday night because Bergen Catholic certainly showed them how football is meant to be played. I mean, they were unbelievable. I agree. I got Jambuzzi in here. I got Jackson in here. Speaking of Bergen Catholic's prowess, there's no doubt they were just incredible, man. I mean, and
they've been
good on them for traveling the way they did as a fan section too, because I know some of those fans had to take off work and get down there. It's not an easy drive.
No, but they want to see their team, and they know. Look, they know there's a lot of hype in South Jersey on Winslow, right? And we talked about it last show. Winslow opens up with IMG. Coach Belton is, there's a little bit like, hey, we're going to play Bergen, and
Mac, we've got, sound's out, Rod. Sound's out. Mike? We back? Let us know when it's back. We good? Give us a thumbs up in the chat if you hear us. It's back. All right. Thank you. Bear with us, guys. Thank you for hanging on. So,
Tim, I think my wife hit the mute button.
She may have.
That's possible. She's got it at home.
Mac, repeat what you said. Coach Jackson in the comments here wants to hear what you have to say.
What about Vince?
Yeah, what you just said right there.
I just said, as my pop would say, there's always a team or somebody that's bigger, stronger, faster.
Yeah.
And now Coach Belton and team and kids got to look themselves in the mirror and basically say, hey, who are we? What are we going to do? Like, could you say, hey, we're probably not going to play anybody as good as Bergen the rest of the year? And maybe they don't. Or do they say, hey, look, we've seen some flaws. our coaches have told us about these things, and now they've really came up in these situations. And now, are we gonna work better as a football team to fix? I mean, if you get a football team that's not so much playing against the team it's playing against, I know that sounds kind of abstract, but you really are working on what you do best as a football team.
Right.
You know, we used to say, let's just do what we do. We're going to do what we do. We're going to play our game. You know, within, you know, obviously you're competing against another program and you got a game plan, et cetera, et cetera. But you still have to keep the personality of what your team does.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, you can't be something you're not in those situations. So, you know, Winslow has to go back and say, hey, who are we? What are we doing? Let's clean some things up.
Yeah.
Because, as I said, I don't know if it got blipped or not, or muted, but you know, there's some kids on Winslow that are going to play at the next level.
Yeah.
And you know, and then there's some kids that think they might play at the next level, but might not be ready yet based on the fact that,
yeah,
you know, what shows on film.
Well, it's a short week to figure out what's going on, as they are going to head down to Richland. We'll talk about that at the end of.
They got another one to, you know, another opportunity, as we used to call it.
Mac, I want to talk about the game you were at, because I mean, for as lopsided as the Winslow-Bergen game was, and it showed that in the final score, you were at a game that was lopsided in the stat sheet, but was a surprise in person. So you go to Farnham Park to watch Shawnee play Camden High. And Camden High finishes this game.
You know how many times I've been to Farnham Park?
You've been there a long, many times.
Many times. Love the place.
In this game, Camden runs for 268 yards. They had 356 total yards.
Yes.
Shawnee had 62 total yards. The final score of this game is Camden 20, Shawnee 21, due to a couple of knots, a pick six from Michael Bartasius, I hope I pronounced that right, Michael, and a kickoff return from Tyler Nichols, who, I remember seeing him play as a freshman. It feels like it's been here. I feel like he's been playing for a long time now.
Yes.
But talk about knots, talk about Shawnee, talk about, you had to feel walking out of that Farnham Park on Friday night, like, did that
happen?
Just happen?
I mean, I guess that, you know, when you're watching now football games, and you and I have seen a lot of games. I've been to a lot. Same. I mean, it was one of those games where, if you're a Camden fan, you're like, how is this happening right now? Mm-hmm. Right? And then on the Shawnee side, you know, Shawnee's defense, we can throw stats up here all we want. Camden did get a lot of yardage, but Shawnee's defense played out of its mind. You know, it had a goal line stand. You know, again, and Shawnee was offensively, they were methodical, right? Their opening drive, they go down. You know, they're up 7-6, and then, you know, and then Camden makes it a 14-7 game, mm-hmm. and then the Tyler Nichols run back.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, so it's like Camden High's a little bit shocked, I'm sure. And just, you talk about a dagger. Michael Bartasius, I mean, the week before, he made an interception against Williamstown to kind of thwart a drive that would really just set Shawnee back in motion, mm-hmm. to win the football game. And, you know, he's been playing out of his mind this year. And he makes a pick and goes 45, 3 minutes into the second half. And, you know, it was on a speed out, and he comes up, he's playing outside linebacker, gets it, nobody catches him, he's flying. You know, now all of a sudden, field extra point, boom, he's the kicker as well. It's 21-14. The best tonic in high school, mm-hmm. is thinking you can win.
Yeah.
And then knowing you can win. And I mean, how many times you and I are walking on a sideline at games, and you hear them going, "We can win this game," and you're like, when you hear that too much, that means, you know, you're like, okay. But instead of saying it, you start to get a vibe that the team knows it, right? That, you know, now the thing that you don't talk about here in your stat sheet is turnovers.
Right.
Yeah, Camden High had 4, Shawnee had 1. Again, that's to me, in all levels of football, mm-hmm. especially in high school, you know, if that differential gets more than ±1, the game's, you know, you're in a totally different spot.
Well, it reminds me of many years. It just seems like Shawnee is the team where if you want to offer up an opportunity to beat yourself, they're going to let you do it. And they're going to be, they're going to be locked in. And there may be times you don't beat yourself. And we've seen in the past some of those games where they've played better opponents.
Right.
Those teams haven't beaten themselves, and they've taken care of Shawnee. But if you want to dilly-dally, or you want to have all these penalties, or you want to have turnovers, you make a couple mistakes,
Shawnee capitalized.
just like that, they're going to capitalize if you give them the opportunity to do so.
Yes, they capitalize. They, as a well-coached program, they're sitting there. They understand. You're watching the game, and again, I'm in the stands as high as I can get, and it's like, the longer this game goes on,
right.
In this high school world we're in, the more
anything can happen,
and the more they're the advantage of Shawnee. What became really interesting was not only the goal line stand that Shawnee had, but Shawnee gets the ball with about, I would say, 8 minutes left, and they put together a little longer than that, 10 minutes. They put together a 6-7 minute drive on the ground, eating up clock. They have to punt. I thought it was a successful drive. No, we didn't score, but Shawnee didn't score. Up 21-0 or 21-20, excuse me, and punt. And now Camden High has the ball inside its own 5-yard line. Camden fumbles on the next play. I mean, Shawnee had an opportunity to make the game 28-20, kind of seal it right then. They didn't get in, a couple quarterback sneaks, and then a bad snap. And then you look, and Camden's got a little life now. They got the ball now at the 30 instead of they only got to go 70 yards to take the lead. All they got to do is score, right? Not all, but they got to go 70. There's time left. There was 3 minutes left. But, the bend and don't break is Shawnee defense. Opportune plays. Again, Joey Cleaver, Bartasius. I mean, again, this is all, Brett Lundberg hasn't played since week 1. I mean, and I think folks that know, my son Tommy, he played, he started week 1, had a pick against Pope John. He hasn't played since week 1. So, but the next man up, right? I mean, these are seniors, or not, and then the leadership of, Bartasius and Tyler Nichols and Joey Cleaver, those guys, and and on the offensive line, John Mosier and Pinto, just up there up front, things like those, knowing that you break in the huddle, and you don't got to break every play and go 70. You just got to control the football, take care of it.
Yeah.
And the longer you're in a football game,
you got a chance.
You got a shot, and
At Shawnee, another team, both Shawnee and Camden, big ones this weekend, we'll address when we look forward to the action that's coming up.
Yep.
I think we're going to learn a lot more about the teams in South Jersey after this week. I know before the show we're sitting here trying to do the rankings, and as they say, more will be revealed. We'll see exactly
where's the hat?
How this all shakes out. But I do want to make one thing clear, though. We got T. Bettle here in the chat. He asked how I feel about St. Aug's beating McKinley out in Ohio, but he says your home state. I'm not from Ohio. I want to make that perfectly clear. I'm not from Ohio. I'm from Virginia. But
he's got to check his sound. That's
okay.
That's not Ohio.
They must have muted me. But I'll say this. I think St. Augustine, they went out and took care of business week 0. I'm sorry. They've taken care of business 2 weeks in a row in South Jersey with the dominant defense and a good offense. And really, I'm looking forward to seeing them on Friday night. Rob, what do you think, man? It was a busy weekend. I know you weren't here, but I know that you've been digesting, you've been curating, you've been thinking. Early season football, right? That's where we're at right now. We got a lot to be revealed yet. His mic's not in, but he says, thumbs down. We gotta get some better ball.
That's for sure.
So we're gonna review everything that happened last week. We got our Knots of the Week. You want to stay tuned for that. We got a really special edition of Knots of the Week. And then we'll look forward to these games, and we'll give you whatever edition of the Best 11 rankings we have. It's our second ones of the year. Again, a lot of movers, a lot of shakers. Not the top 5 are what they are, but after that, we'll take a look, shake it around. Stay tuned. We'll be back right after this, the South Jersey Football Frenzy Show. The West Jersey Football Coaches Association was established to promote, improve, and unite football in South Jersey. In less than 4 years, the association created the Battle at the Beach and has dedicated itself to helping others. The association has donated close to $100,000 to date to provide scholarships through the National Football Foundation and the Touchdown Club of Southern New Jersey. The group has also donated to the charity Philly Faces, which helps those in need of facial reconstruction surgery. Thank you to the West Jersey Football Coaches Association for their sponsorship of the South Jersey Football Frenzy Show. The South Jersey Football Frenzy Show is also sponsored by Capstone Medical Services, a dedicated team of experienced healthcare professionals with a strong presence at the youth, middle school, high school, collegiate, and post-collegiate levels. They specialize in athletic training services and sports medicine for youth, high school, collegiate, and adult sports, event EMT and paramedic coverage for events and gatherings of all types and sizes, ensuring everyone's safety, injury prevention and workplace injury programs for commercial and industrial organizations, American Red Cross training, ideal for coaches, youth group leaders, church organizations, businesses of all sizes, and school districts. At Capstone, they are committed to delivering exceptional medical services that exceed expectations. No team will work harder or more passionately for you or your athletes. They proudly serve athletes of all ages, schools, businesses, and event organizers, ensuring the health and safety of every individual in every setting. Whether on the field, at work, or during special events, Capstone's here to protect, support, and serve because your safety is our top priority. To learn how Capstone Medical Services can support your school, organization, or event, call 855-EVENT-CMS or visit capstonemedicalservices.com. The South Jersey Football Frenzy Show is also sponsored by SRA Home Products. South Jersey, let me tell you about my friends over at SRA Home Products. SRA has been building sunrooms, pergolas, and patio covers for over 25 years. They've built more than 9,000 projects in the Delaware Valley alone. And I've had the opportunity to be around Mike Fody, the owner, and I have nothing but the best things to say about Mike and his crew. SRA is a gold accredited member of the Better Business Bureau under the elite provider status with Home Advisor, and they've racked up a number of Best of South Jersey awards in the past. They also contribute to multiple sport associations and are huge supporters of Williamstown football. Find them online at srahomeproducts.com.
Enthusiastic about football? Become a part of the NJFOA South Football Association and team up with us to officiate high school football. Join us on the field. Our cadet class kicks off in March. Register on our website or by scanning the QR code in this ad. Put the stripes on and join us on the gridiron today.
Welcome back, New Jersey football fans, to the South Jersey Football Frenzy Show. We had a lot of action last week, a lot of people, a lot of kids, a lot of teams that deserve a shout out. So we're going to start here with Thursday night. We had Eastern beats Vineland 8-7. Terry Cook, you saw one of his knots of the week last week. He had a receiving touchdown and an interception. Gateway beat Wildwood 35-7. Aiden Barbado ran for 3 touchdowns for the Gators. West Deptford shut out Collingswood 48-0. Brady Cobb threw 4 passes. He completed all of them for 248 yards, 3 touchdowns. Zamir Davis added 2 on the ground for the Eagles. Riverside 38, Maple Shade 0. Terrence Barnes, another big week for him. 13 carries, 202 yards, 2 touchdowns. St. Joe Hamilton 12, Absegami 6 in overtime. Anthony Salamone, big game for him. 13-21 passing, 144 and 2 touchdowns. Pensauken beats Highland 22-16. Sterling 37, Mastery Charter 0. Kip 52, Buna 22. And Glassboro beat Pensgrove 63-0. Another big number for Glassboro and another little number for Glassboro's opponents. Xavier Sabb caught 2 touchdowns and threw 1. Mackay Parker 3 receptions, 107 yards and a touchdown. Glassboro's a pretty tough team, pretty good. That was on Thursday night. Friday, ACIT 21, Deptford 0. Burleton Township remains undefeated. Aiden Benz 10 carries, 192 yards, 2 touchdowns. They beat Haddon Heights 41-14. Lower Cape May takes the Anchor Bowl, 42-0 over Middle Township. Lawrence beats Florence. Lawrence beats Florence. A little rhyming action there, Max. 17-0. Millville Mainland, this is a crazy one. This is a game really Millville had to have coming in 0-2. Mainland comes in 1-1. They were feeling better about themselves. They lose this game in a thriller. They had an issue kicking late. They're up by a touchdown going in. I believe it was a missed field goal. Millville, deep pass, touchdown. Reggie Holly gets a 2-point conversion. They win in the final minutes there, 22-21. Robbie O'Connor from Millville, 23 of 33, 305 and 3 touchdowns as the Thunderbolts get their first win in the season and a win they really sorely needed to have. Pittman 45, Gloucester Catholic 7. Palmyra lost to Holy Cross 28-6. Holy Spirit 32, Hamilton 7. Ty Costabile 26 of 32, 278, 5 touchdowns. Haddonfield 39, Willingboro 9. Brody Leonard 18 carries, 129, 2 touchdowns. Jack McKeever catches a touchdown and has a pick 6 for the Haddons. Seneca, teams kind of slips under the radar a little bit, but let me tell you, man, they are very, very good. 32-6, they beat Pleasantville. Anthony Tirico, 7 of 13, 103 yards and 2 touchdowns for Seneca. Brody Phillips catches 1, runs for 1, and has 2 picks. Ocean City beats Lenape 22-0. Jackson Becker, 21 carries, 107 yards and 2 touchdowns. Tristan Schmidt added a touchdown on the ground. I want to send our thoughts out to the Ocean City football community as well as the Paulsboro communities. This week, they lost one of their own in assistant coach Fran Simpson. Coach has been around for a long, long time in South Jersey. Both Red Raider programs. He's with Paulsboro for a long time. He's with Ocean City in recent years. A football guy through and through. Our thoughts and condolences go out to Ocean City, Paulsboro, and those who are close to Fran Simpson. Kingsway beats Timber Creek 36-21. After that tough loss at Camden High, they bounced back and beat the Chargers. Amari Terrell, 2 rushing touchdowns. Cherry Hill East beats Triton 28-14. The defense of East, 7 sacks, 2 forced fumble, and an interception for the Cougars. Shalleck 33, Woodstown 27. Kenneth Bartee, 26 carries, 215 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Quite a game for Mr. Bartee. St. Augustine, we talked about them a little bit in the opener. We'll talk about them, of course, in the final segment of the show. They beat Cherokee 35-0. Ryan Storr, 7 of 9, 131 yards and a touchdown. And Roman Coney, again, stuffs the stat sheet, 10 carries, 184, 4 touchdowns. Cumberland's a feel-good story this year. They're undefeated so far, 41-35. They take care of Oakcrest. Josh Davis throws for 2 touchdowns. R.J. Pierce runs for 2, and he caught one of those touchdown passes. Del Ranch shuts out their rival Cinnaminson 35-0. Vinny Sacca, 129 yards passing and a touchdown. Nick Peen, 2 rushing touchdowns. Cherry Hill West 42, Clearview 6. Judah Carter, I hope you started him if you had him on your fantasy team. 13 carries, 203 yards, 4 touchdowns. Bridgeton 48, EHT 7. Bishop Eustace 44, Lindenwold 0. Paul VI gets by Gloucester 30-14. Nate Klecko with 14 carries, 90 yards, and a touchdown. Clayton 48, Haddon Township 0. Deron Williams, 2 rushing touchdowns. Williamstown gets on the scoreboard for wins this season, beating Chichester, PA 28-13. Trey Alexander lives up to his name. He has a tray of touchdowns, 3 of them. 18 carries from 113 for Trey. Overbrook, Pennsville, another wild game last week. Pennsville gets out to a 21-0 start early in that game. Overbrook claws back and wins 22-21. Axel Bailey for Overbrook, 19 carries, 101 yards, 2 touchdowns. Paulsboro 38, Camden Catholic 20. Northern Burlington remains unbeaten. Another big story this season. 35-7, they beat Moorestown. Brent Wallalack, I hope I pronounced that, Brent. I hope I pronounced that correctly, Brent. 15-23, 220 and a touchdown. He also ran for 120 on 10 carries, 2 touchdowns. Did it all for the Greyhounds. And Washington Township shuts out Delsey, 40-0. Jair Moore with a receiving touchdown and a fumble return for touchdown.
When do you think the last time Delsey was shut out?
I don't know. Last year they faced a tough schedule and they got out to a slow start. I don't know if they got shut out, but I will say that it's possible that's what it was.
You were whipping through a lot of highlights and stats there, so I was a little bit I was kind
There's
of.
a lot going on.
Yeah, a lot.
I'd like to motor through these things, get as many names in as we can.
Appreciate it. That's good.
Saturday, though, Mac, Bordentown 34, Audubon 14.
Yes.
Salem gets Kemp Carr's first win with the Rams, 31-8 over Woodbury. Burlington City beats Pemberton 60-34. Mason Shanzy 289 passing, 3 touchdowns. Dante Davis 14 carries, 244 yards and 5 touchdowns. Malachi Sadler 7 receptions, 180 yards and a touchdown. RV gets by Eastside 21-6. Jameer Bellamy 20 carries, 118 yards, 2 touchdowns and a receiving touchdown. Quarterback Savion Adams did not play in that game for RV. And Cedar Creek Atlantic City, this is a big one. We talked about it last week, had a lot of hype. Cedar Creek takes care of a 45-34. Amir Dunbar, 164 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. They get 3 knots on the day, the Pirates did. And what better way to go into Knots of the Week than talking about that Cedar Creek performance? Rod, I think we're ready, man. You ready to cue it up?
You going to write the knots of the week?
We're going to Knots of the Week, man.
'Cause I have some honorable mentions.
Okay. Location, location, location. There's no better location than the football field, but for all your other real estate needs, call Ashley Franchini. Do not make a mistake when you're looking for real estate, folks. Reach out to Ashley at 609-233-6116 or at FranchiniRealEstate.com. All right, here we go. Let's start out. We got Del Ram first and foremost. Look at this pick 6. Jack Jordan jumps ahead of it 32 yards as they shut out Cinnaminson 35-0. Riverside, 2 weeks in a row with a knot. Here, Terrence Barnes tackles. Dean Potts comes in with a little strip. And boom, Alton Howe runs it in for score. Gateway is up next. The Gators had 2 knots. Oh, well, Rams. Yeah, they get rid of that. They're enjoying themselves. Of course. Yeah. You know what? Celebrate. Have a good time. Helmets look great. Jerseys look good too. Gateway is 2 knots. You got Lamar Smith here first. Jumping in front of that against Wildwood. He takes that thing back 75 yards. You almost see the beach ball.
I was looking for it. Yeah.
Not the crest though, is it?
No, but it's kind of expected.
DJ Bink is next for Gateway. He grabs this one and takes it back 47 yards for a touchdown. So Gateway comes in with 2 knots of the week. That's pretty impressive, right? Well, Burlington Township also comes away with 2. Here you go. Julian Lattimore opens the scoring here with this 31-yard pick 6. He runs this thing and he even runs out of the screen, Mac.
That's such a hard throw. We can talk about that, but that's such.
Here's Solomon Wesley gets the second one. Look, he will do everything he can. He comes away with that
Wow.
thing, and then
Imagine, you got to hold it high and tight. We talked about that last week.
we did talk about that. It leads to knots, which is
Well,
good for us, but it's bad for
It leads to turnovers, and turnovers tend to lead to knots. Knots tend to win games. I mean, you look at, we'll talk about it.
Cedar Creek gets number 1, Mac. You know why? Because they had 3 knots. Guyon King, 72-yard fumble return here against Atlantic City.
Yeah, see that.
Scoop and score. Then next, Jameer Campfield, he's like, I kind of want to get in on the action. So
let me
why don't I take this 34 yards to the house? This is the old school Cedar Creek. This is a Saturday afternoon game.
Right?
And then last but not least, freshman Bethea. He says, I will take this. I will take this thing 37 yards to the house. So our number 1 knot of the week, definitely Cedar Creek with 3 of them. Do not make a mistake when you're looking for real estate. Reach out to Ashley Franchini at 609-233-6116 or FranchiniRealEstate.com.
Got to give some, I guess maybe copyright stuff. We couldn't get the Shawnee knots. We had 2 knots. Well, we had them on Twitter. We saw them on, but we had the huge kickoff return by Tyler Nichols, 85 yards to tie the game up. And then the start, as I talked about in the beginning of the show, to start the third quarter, Mike Bartasius' pick, 45 yards, I think, went and took the lead, and that's what won the game. The 2 knots won the football game for the Renegades.
Well, and coaches, players, parents, if you have video of these knots, send them in the beginning of the week.
Gotta send them in.
Send them in. We want to see them. We want to put them on the show.
What did Cap Noah send? Send your pictures? You don't know, Cap. Never mind.
No, but send them in. Send them in. How about Chris Baker here? He does so much pulling together these stats, looking at the games that happened last week and all that stuff. He does a great job for the show. And Chris says there were 24 total nods last week by his count in South Jersey.
Submitted or 24 in South Jersey?
24 that he saw.
Not
Just submitted.
I
know it felt like Cedar Creek had 24 of them. They only had 3. But, I mean, between Burlington Township, Gateway, and Cedar Creek and Shawnee, that's 9 right there. So they only needed 15 more.
Rod, this is to your point. You know, I'm going to bring up another old gray hair statement. This is from my Uncle John. He's still around. He's still with us. He's 9 years old.
I don't doubt it.
He won 2-3 titles over in PA back in the day in Philadelphia. He used to say, and he still does, if you end every possession on a kick, you're going to win the game. Every possession on a kick. Everybody think punt is a bad 4-letter word. It's not. It means it's a 50-yard play, 40-yard play, maybe 35. My point is, you look back and you do very rarely do you win the turnover battle and lose the game. Then I'll put Dick Vermeil line. Dick Vermeil, when he used to be on ABC, yes, Dick Vermeil used to do color commentary at college football games. When a team blocks a punt, Dick Vermeil would say, you don't lose. And then if you block a punt and score, well, maybe if you block a punt, you're winning 95%. If you block a punt and score on that block punt, lights out, game over.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't remember coaching in a game where we had a knot and didn't win. Like
It's pretty tough.
And
right?
I don't remember coaching in a game where we lost in the turnover battle or won the turnover battle and lost. I mean, heck, I'll go back to my first year at Lenape in 2011. We scored more touchdowns than Shawnee did on Thanksgiving against Shawnee. They beat us.
Really?
Do you know what it's like to coach in a game where you score more touchdowns than the other team?
I don't know what it's like to coach in any game, so no.
Well, that's what Camden High did. Camden High scored more touchdowns than Shawnee did. And Shawnee won the game.
Yeah.
So it is controlling the football. You know, punting's not a bad word. Special teams, all that old man stuff.
Yeah.
I was thinking about Mac, Rod. I was thinking about Mac this weekend on Sunday. I know you were busy, but I was watching that Birds game, and I'm thinking, if Mac coached the Eagles, this is what it would look like.
It's 100.
We're running, we're punting. The defense will hold up.
I'm
thinking this is Mac. They win the turnover battle 1-0. I mean, turnover on downs also.
Correct.
So maybe 2-0. And I'm thinking this is right in Mac's zone.
What, Rod?
Right?
Mac likes what? Winning? I mean, I'm sorry. I apologize. I like winning.
But it was old school football.
No doubt, because here, you know what's funny? Sirianni, as for some of his antics that folks didn't like periphery on the outside,
Yeah, sure.
He's the son of a football coach. His brothers coach football. He will never admit to this. You're kidding yourself if his brothers aren't calling him up at one point 2 years ago and said, or last year, do you understand you got Saquon Barkley in your backfield? Do you understand that guy, what that guy can do? The problem with what Nick has to do right now, he's also got AJ, and he's got Devontae. So you have to figure out.
But do you think, like, if you're on the road in Arrowhead, right, the approach is different than this week when you're at home?
Oh, yes, no
Right.
doubt. No doubt.
You've got a team that's desperate to win. It's loud in there. There's a lot of things can go wrong when you throw the ball. When you run the ball, isn't that what you say?
Oh, when you run right, when you throw the ball, 3 things happen, and 2 of them are bad.
Yeah.
It's an incomplete pass, and it's a pick. And when you run the ball, I know it's not sexy. I understand, you know. But when you got a quarterback like you do in Jalen Hurts, and I mean, look, he's got some, you know, a couple shortcomings, and some of the things he can't do, maybe some of the routes he doesn't see. But let's face it, you heard A.J. Brown. He's like, look, I'm getting the way they handle A.J., they double him, et cetera. The diatribe here is win.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you find a way to get a win, especially early in the season. Obviously, there's a little more pressure on winning early in the season in the NFL than there is in high school football, where so many teams make the playoffs. But still, you stack some wins, you find a way to get them done, and then you look back and you look back when you get to the end of the season. Hopefully, you're playing in the postseason, and you say, okay, now in high school, whatever, we're hosting the first couple rounds because we were able to sneak past this team in the first week, the second week. Anyway.
It's so nice not to get on buses. It's so nice to be at home and host playoff games and host, do the things. And Billy Swan. People might know that name out there. Billy Swan coached at Widener for 100 years, coached at Westchester. Billy Swan had a wing tee type, next level wing tee offense. He used to say in his clinics, I throw the ball in the first half so I can do the things I want to do in the second half, and that's run the wing tee.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's exaggerating, but controlling the game, doing the right things, control the ball, take care of it, punt on fourth down, flip the field, make it a possession game, make it a field game. 90 yards is a long way to go in high school football. Heck, 90 yards is a long way to go in pro football.
Absolutely, and it was a long way to go the other day as well. I do want to shout somebody out here. We mentioned him earlier in the show, I spoke with his coach this week, and somebody who I'm going to talk about in this next segment also. But I want to talk about Dante Davis of Burlington City. Like I said, 14 carries, 244, and 5 touchdowns last week. Through 3 games, he's got 60 carries for 550 yards and 9 touchdowns. This is a guy who has been in the Burlington City program. He's been a part of all that since he was a kid.
You know what his nickname should be? First down.
Yeah, first down.
Because when you give him the ball, next time it's first down.
First down, Dante. But this Burlington City team, they're off to a good start. We're going to mention them next. But a shout out to Dante. Anybody who doesn't have him on the radar, please be sure to pay attention to Mr. Davis. He's having a huge year so far. And they've had some good running back years. You know, they've had, I remember, the kid's name escapes me, but one year, was it Jimmy Brown? Was that his name? Might have been. Put up a lot of big numbers for Burlington City one year. So we'll see. They have a big one, big Burlington County clash coming up tomorrow night. We'll get to it.
Riverside.
We got a lot to look forward to and a lot to get to. So stay tuned. We'll be back right after this, looking to next weekend. The West Jersey Football Coaches Association was established to promote, improve, and unite football in South Jersey. In less than 4 years, the association created the Battle at the Beach and has dedicated itself to helping others. The association has donated close to $100,000 to date to provide scholarships through the National Football Foundation and the Touchdown Club of Southern New Jersey. The group has also donated to the charity Philly Faces, which helps those in need of facial reconstruction surgery. Thank you to the West Jersey Football Coaches Association for their sponsorship of the South Jersey Football Frenzy Show. The South Jersey Football Frenzy Show is also sponsored by Capstone Medical Services, a dedicated team of experienced healthcare professionals with a strong presence at the youth, middle school, high school, collegiate, and post-collegiate levels. They specialize in athletic training services and sports medicine for youth, high school, collegiate, and adult sports, event EMT and paramedic coverage for events and gatherings of all types and sizes, ensuring everyone's safety, injury prevention and workplace injury programs for commercial and industrial organizations, American Red Cross training, ideal for coaches, youth group leaders, church organizations, businesses of all sizes, and school districts. At Capstone, they are committed to delivering exceptional medical services that exceed expectations. No team will work harder or more passionately for you or your athletes. They proudly serve athletes of all ages, schools, businesses, and event organizers, ensuring the health and safety of every individual in every setting. Whether on the field, at work, or during special events, Capstone's here to protect, support, and serve because your safety is our top priority. To learn how Capstone Medical Services can support your school, organization, or event, call 855-EVENT-CMS or visit capstonemedicalservices.com. The South Jersey Football Frenzy Show is also sponsored by SRA Home Products. South Jersey, let me tell you about my friends over at SRA Home Products. SRA has been building sunrooms, pergolas, and patio covers for over 25 years. They've built more than 9,000 projects in the Delaware Valley alone. And I've had the opportunity to be around Mike Fody, the owner, and I have nothing but the best things to say about Mike and his crew. SRA is a gold accredited member of the Better Business Bureau under the elite provider status with Home Advisor, and they've racked up a number of Best of South Jersey awards in the past. They also contribute to multiple sport associations and are huge supporters of Williamstown football. Find them online at srahomeproducts.com.
Enthusiastic about football? Become a part of the NJFOA South Football Association and team up with us to officiate high school football. Join us on the field. Our cadet class kicks off in March. Register on our website or by scanning the QR code in this ad. Put the stripes on and join us on the gridiron today.
Welcome back, New Jersey football fans, to the South Jersey Football Frenzy Show. We're in our final segment of the day. We're going to take a look at the big games that are coming up this week. We're going to talk about our game of the week, which we mentioned in previous segments, and we're going to look at our best 11 rankings, however they may pan out. Thursday night, 6 p.m., we got two unbeaten matchups that they might not be on the top of your radar. They may not be games you circled at the beginning of the season, but two nice stories here. You got Cumberland at St. Joseph Academy. Many of us remember the heyday of St. Joe when they were playing anybody and everybody and beating them by a lot of points. Coach Ron Dorsey's done a good job rebuilding the program here in the last couple of years. They've started out unbeaten. They host Cumberland, a team that really, Cumberland over the years, I mean, they've had some major talent way back when, right? Come out of there. A lot of talent around there, teams that have thrived around there. So it's good to see Cumberland get their day in the sun as well. They play 6 p.m. at Thursday at St. Joe Academy. And we mentioned Burlington City. We talked about Dante Davis at running back. We spent a lot of time the last couple years talking about the ascension of Riverside. Those two teams are going to face off at Wilbur Watts Intermediate School, where Burlington City has their home games. The Rams won last year in this matchup 34-22. Robert Van Syver and Caden Booker, two young coaches who've done excellent jobs at those programs, small schools. That'll be an interesting one, a fun one on Thursday at 6. Friday, a couple other undefeated matchups. You got Northern Burlington and Delran, another Burlington County game. The Greyhounds are 3-0. I think I saw something from Kevin Emmons here in this chat about the last time they went 3-0. Delran, sack at quarterback. Saw Coach Huco the other night. I know they're feeling good about the way things have transpired for them, especially after shutting out Cinnaminson last week. That's at 6 p.m. at Delran. Sterling at Gateway, two teams that, hey, if you look back, I'd say probably 8 years ago, they're both pretty good playoff teams, solid teams. Went through a little bit of a dip, and now they're coming back with undefeated starts. Sterling at Gateway, 7 p.m., a couple old Colonial Conference foes. Other good ones on Friday night, you got Washington Township's unbeaten. We know what they have. We know they're one of the top teams in Group 5 this season. They go to Millville. It's at 6 p.m. Millville bounces back with a win they kind of had to have last week at Mainland by the skin of their teeth. Mr. Holly in the Holly City got it done. And it's a big one, 6 p.m. at Millville. Rancocas Valley at Shawnee at 6 p.m. We don't know the status of quarterback Savion Adams. I know he'll be back soon. I don't know when. But RV at Shawnee. Shawnee, we mentioned it earlier. They're not going to beat themselves. They're going to play smart, sound, disciplined football. Can they get two big wins back-to-back in the state of New Jersey? I know they opened up against a PA team. They lost the opener. They get by Williamstown in week 1. They get by Camden last week. They have an opportunity again this week against Rancocas Valley. Speaking of Camden High, they go down to Holy Spirit at 6 p.m. Spirits put together a couple wins after a loss in the opener at Battle of the Beach. Camden, inconsistent is what I think many of the Panthers fans would say. You've seen flashes. You've seen what they're capable of, but can't have turnovers, can't have penalties. Came back against Kingsway in a game that was a thriller 2 weeks ago. Lost to Shawnee in a game that was a thriller that on the stat sheet, they dominated the game.
Young guys in spots, too.
Young guys in spots.
Yeah, so all these the good ones that you mentioned, and your other one is Haddonfield at Seneca, right?
Haddonfield at Seneca.
Yeah, they're all big. They're all games that everyone has an interesting spin to it. You look at it, you're like, okay, Township is undefeated. Millville, was at 1-2. Township feeling good. Millville, everybody thinks is not going to be the Millville they've been. Then you got to go down and play there, right? RV at Shawnee. RV's undefeated. Shawnee's coming off a big win. Is Harvey's quarterback playing? You know, some of that stuff, right? I'm just looking at the games you pick, right?
Yeah,
Of course.
right.
In Camden, right? Everybody's like, well, what happened? What happened to Camden last week? Dominated in yardage. And, you know, and Spirit is always typically playing sound football. So, and then, you know, Haddonfield Seneca. Seneca's, I talked about last year, Coach Diorio, both these guys, Delano and Diorio, you know, great coaches. Anthony's one of the young and upcoming guys. You know, kids will play for him, and Frank's been doing it forever. You know, multiple rings, and they're fun times. So if you don't have a local game to go to, there's good football out there.
There's good football. There's opportunity. I know people now, especially after 2020, people just stay at home and watch games on their man cave. They've got all of these games lined up. So if that's what you're doing, then these are the games you need to plug in on your multiple screens and your streams.
Go to the games.
Well, I agree with you.
Rod,
I'm going to be there.
Rod.
But, you know, some people have to put the kids to bed, whatever. They get down there, they want to watch the game. They can't. Not everybody can go out.
Get a babysitter. Go to the games. Rod, I'm at Camden High. I hadn't been there for a couple years. Mm-hmm. New turf, obviously. And, you know, if you're a Camden High fan, you wish you won. So I said to my wife, I said, I parked up on Park. I said, she's like, how are we getting in the car? I go, we're going with the band. We're following the band. And if you haven't seen Camden High's band before or after or during, it is the best. They're the best.
It's a show.
It's a show. And win or lose, that Camden High band is playing. So get off the Zoom, get off the butts, and get to the games. One of them. And if you know, Camden High's at Spirit this week, but
Is that a 6 o'clock game?
Yeah.
yes, at Spirit. Yeah, and it's tough to get down there. I'm saying there's other games. Get to them. You know, man, hearing Old Time Religion being played the whole fourth quarter is just worth the $6 to get in.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. I don't know, $3. I don't even know what they charge to get in.
Many of you, if you are looking for a game, these are in the area. The ones that we talked about are all over South Jersey. There's different areas that have big ones, but the biggest one of the week is Winslow Township at St. Augustine Prep. And that'll be 6 p.m. on Friday night. Look, you got St. Augustine as a team. They win a game out of state to open things up in Ohio. They've come back. They've been nothing short of dominant. They haven't given up a point in blowout wins of Paul VI and Cherokee. Roman Coney, like I mentioned, he's everywhere. They're always going to play sound defensively. They're always going to be big up front. Coach Lancetta is going to run the ball. They're going to find a way to to take the air out of football, right? They know how to do that. They know how to do it well. The Richland Rowdies are going to be they're going to be as rowdy as you would expect down there, right? And you got a Winslow team that's 1-2, but they've lost to two teams that are nationally ranked or national powers. And in between there, they beat Highland, I think 47-0 on a Thursday night. And so here's the thing.
Lancetta hasn't slept this week, is what you're telling me.
What I'm telling you is these are two teams that I think many of us thought would be the top two teams in South Jersey, maybe at the end of the season, and certainly maybe in the beginning of the season. And here they are in a place where you get these major divisions with the teams that are packed in there, right? And you want to see them meet at times that are appropriate. And this is a time that is appropriate. It's the beginning of the season. The Prep's undefeated. They're at home. Winslow's searching for what they got.
They want,
and they're going on the road to find out.
Well, Winslow needs a win for the soul, right? At this point, right? I mean, you could say sure. Bergen's got this and IMG's got that. No disrespect for Highland, but Winslow, you know, they've been number one in the rankings, right? Yeah. Where Augie, you know, to your point, have dominated. And so they're feeling good about themselves, right?
Yeah, they should be.
Absolutely. And Coach Lancetta has to remind Augie, the Hermits, and say, guys, you're going to have a team coming in here that you might not. You've seen a couple dudes on a couple teams, but these are, you know, you got a lot of guys on Winslow that can get after it.
And Winslow, I would think, Rod, I mean, Winslow, having seen the way that game transpired last week, I would think before the game, the type of demeanor I would expect to see out of Winslow is that, A, they've been counting down the seconds they can get back on a field, and B, that they want to take out a little bit of frustration and show who they are compared to last week.
And that's one of the things that I saw. I was watching the game on my phone, had the opportunity to go see Colorado at Houston.
Yeah.
So I'm watching that game while still on my phone, trying to keep up with it. But one of the things that came across to me watching it was just Winslow didn't look like Winslow.
Yeah.
So shoulders down, head down, walking, certain things that we aren't used to seeing, especially from a team that's considered the best in the state.
Intimidated? I mean, were they? I mean,
I don't think it was intimidation. I think they were more so just disappointed and they just lost it.
They looked
It
flat.
just looked
they looked
like
flat to
something
me
was-
from
yeah.
snap one to
Look,
basically the middle of the second half. But
when that red and gold army shows up, it is a different.
Yeah, but-
they're a different team off the bus.
no, I mean, but that's one team. There's two
Right.
teams play.
I understand.
And the second team didn't come to play.
No,
Right.
And I
And-
think anybody could tell you right
mean-
now that's the truth.
You were there. I wasn't. I'm trying to like look at it and see what's going on. They just didn't look like themselves. I don't know what it is, and I'm not
But
sure.
they shot
I
themselves
don't
in the
think
foot.
it's
You
intimidation.
Can't, you
I
know
think
you
it's-
can't play. You have to. I don't want to call it a perfect game. Nobody's playing perfect
Right.
games, but you got to play a tight game playing these squads.
Oh, for sure.
And then you go back. Let's go to this week's game. You talk about a guy who doesn't care about style points.
Well, it's true.
Pete Lancetta doesn't care. As long as he got one more point than you do,
Yeah.
that's it.
But I'll say this too, Rod. You know, you come at early possession, not sure exactly which one it was, but the one that summed it up to me is you've got Winslow goes false start in it's a 3 and out. False start, delay a game.
Pre-snap penalties.
Pre-snap at home, penalties, it's a punt. You know, another possession, you get a stop. Punt. Unnecessary roughness, first down. And, you know, we know Bergen Catholic, they cash in on every ticket you give them. So they score a touchdown on the drive. They get the ball, they get good field position, they score. But like Coach Belton told me, we started slow in all 3 games, and that is what has to change. Even the Highland game, he said, we came out offensively, we started out slow. Now, 2 games they lost because the teams they played, you can't start out slow against, but that's worth watching.
I'll say this. Sometimes when you have a very talented team, they think just by showing up, they're going to get the production and the win. Those 2 games that they played against IMG and, like you said, they played against Bergen, and they will even throw in the Highland, they starting off slow. That is a byproduct of us thinking we're just simply better than the guys we're playing against.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when you have very athletic teams, very good teams, they start like that. They just think that they can just flip the switch and it's going to go, but
Because
it doesn't.
they've been able to flip the
They've
switch.
been
They've been
able
able
to
to
do
do
it.
it. It's happened.
When's the last time they lost?
Right.
I mean, to a South Jersey team,
Right.
but you know.
Well, I mean, look, we used to say to some of the kids, like, all right, you know, you want to be a Division X player, whether it be Division I, Division II, you know, what are you happy being? You want to be the best running back in the school? You want to be the best running back in the county? You want to be the best running back in South Jersey? You want to be the best running back in the state? You want to be the best running back in the country? What do you like? Where's your best wannabe?
Right.
I mean, if you're just content being the best running back in your school, you're just better. You know, you're starting.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Are you being your best self? I mean, that's really what it comes down to. And I think Winslow needs to do a better job being their best self.
Right.
And because we as fans of kids and sports and this football, we want to see their best selves. Like, we want to see kids. It doesn't really matter unless you got some skin in the game. You got a son in the game or a relative, or we all want to see good football.
Yeah.
Like, we want to see. We don't like the turnovers. We don't want to see the penalties. We want to see good 48 minutes of football.
That's true.
And we don't want to see a team lose a game. We want to see somebody win a game.
Especially when you have good teams playing.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
Like,
it's so fun to watch a good
football
game.
game, yeah.
Right. Of course, there's gonna be a couple penalties. Someone's gonna go off sides. You know, the offside penalty's like, all right, it's he's twitchy. But, the delays of games and the pre-snaps, you're like, come on, man, no more procedural penalties. It's week 4, right? Let's take care of the ball. Let's have a good, let's have a good football game where you walk out there going, hey, that was a good game. And so-and-so, the team that won, deserved to win because they did the little things right.
Let me ask you this, Coach, because one of the things that people were talking about is the week 0 starting early, things like that. So you don't really find out who your team is until about week 3, week 4. Like, how real is that?
Wow.
To like you think you're something in the summer, the spring, summer, and you get to the games, you're kind of doing what you want to do, but you are looking at it like we might have to change it. This is that point. I mean, this week is the biggest week we've had in South Jersey football. Like, this is the start of the season.
Yeah.
When we talk about Holy Spirit, Camden, RV,
Shawnee,
Shawnee.
Yep.
Like, you start talking
Washington
about those
Township,
teams. Like, this,
Millville. Yeah.
this is the week. Like, we really, I mean, Mark, you kind of spoke to it, but doing the rankings is kind of like, who are these teams?
Right.
And this is the week where they're finally playing the other good teams and teams that they are competing against. But how real is that for you to figure out who your team is?
I mean, I when Woj was still at Lenape before he stepped down, and the rules started changing, and they started with this week 0, and I'm like, Woj, I don't know how you do it with some of the contact. He's like, Mac, we've had to be creative in figuring it out. Like, the NFL gets away with it because these are grown men football players, right? And I said it in the last show. We used to open up, say, on a Thursday. You'd have your first scrimmage, 7 or 8. The following, we had 3 scrimmages. 3. And the first one was like all out. We joked about it last week. It was an all out craziness. Like, the refs would be like, that's enough, right? The second one was more normal. And then the third one was like a half of real football. So you really got those quote unquote kinks. And then the first game was still messy. First game was always messy. And then by the second game, again, my dad, I think the 4th time I've referred to him today, the second game really used to tell you, between your first and the second used to be the biggest jump of a football team. Used to be. First and second week. You could, that would be you get better each week, but that was the biggest incremental jump. Rod, I don't know, that doesn't happen. Like, I think you go jump from 1 to 2, and then from 2nd to 3rd. I think it's the week 4 now is now the new week 2 because these kids. I mean, they've been out there in the summer, but
T-shirts.
It's T-shirts.
I would
It's
agree.
gym shorts.
I would agree with that, and I would say too, like, I think at week 4, I think this week's games internally, like for coaching staffs, for kids, and then externally for us, this is where, like, this is who you are now. There's no more, well, we didn't get enough practice time.
No,
we haven't hit.
Yeah.
No.
If you're still calling plays to somebody who's not producing in week 4 or it's not working, then that play needs to go.
Or
it's not going to start working.
or he's got to go.
Exactly. And that's what I mean. I think now it's like, all right, this excuse is over, man. The temperature is going to, pretty soon it's going to be 50-some degrees outside.
Listen, I'll say this. It is 50 to me. I
Yeah,
just came
you
from
know.
Texas. It was 95 degrees out there, and I was out there for 8 hours straight.
Rod's got a
working.
hoodie on. He's cold again.
Yeah, I was freezing.
But we'll see with both these teams. I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's a game South Jersey's going to love to watch, whether they watch at home or in person in Richland, 6 p.m., number 1 and number 2. Now, which are each? Well, they are what they were last week. So let's go best 11 rankings. We will start with number 1, and that is Winslow.
Don't we talk it the other way? Why are you starting
We
1?
usually do, but because 1 through 5 are stagnant, and
All right, so
there's a little more drama at the bottom.
you're not going to go 1-5 and 11-6. You're just going to go 1 to 11.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go 1 through
I
11.
just want to make sure I'm following at home.
We'll go 1 through 11. So we got Winslow at number 1. They still haven't lost in South Jersey. We don't count out of area losses in these rankings. So Winslow at number 1. St. Augustine at number 2. Handled Cherokee last week. Big game. Number 2 is hosting number 1, 6 p.m. Friday night this week. Rancocas Valley at number 3. Not impressive last week, I would say, score-wise, but Defense is doing what they're doing. Michael Beasley off the edge.
You know they're missing their quarterback, right?
I know. I was getting to that.
Okay. I'm just saying.
They're missing their quarterback.
All right.
Michael Beasley off the edge doesn't play quarterback. Plays defensive end. I think he has something like 4.5 sacks or something the other day.
Freak.
Unbelievable player.
Yes, he is.
Tremendous upside. Worth the price of him. You'll get to see him on Friday.
Yeah, I will.
Washington Township at number 4. Township takes care of business again, like they've been doing. They go to Millville. Glassboro, number 5. I don't know what the number will be, but I was talking to a couple folks. There's a lot of football to be played, but I'll be interested to see from here forward how many points Glassboro gives up the rest of the season. Number 6, Burlington Township. They've been impressive. I think they score 40 points and give up next to nothing each week. They had 2 knots of the week. Go back and watch those.
Who do they have this week? Township.
Oh,
sorry.
Steve told me the other day. I'll look it up. Yeah, look it up for us. Speaking of Coach Everett, I want to thank him and I want to thank all the coaches who brought their captains to Captain's Night for Touchdown Club on Monday at Adelphia Restaurant. It was a great time. I think we had 31 schools honor their captains, 130 some captains. So great time, captains out there. Even if you weren't at the banquet, just continue to do what you do. It is important not just for your team, but for your program, for your community, and for those everywhere. And when you go on, and you go past high school, whether you play in college or not, you go into the professional world, whatever has made you a captain will continue to help you succeed in life. We can always use more leaders. That's my spiel on that. So at 6, Burlington Township. At 7, Cedar Creek. Kevin says he thinks he got Moorestown for Burlington Township this weekend.
Kevin Minnick, congrats.
No, Kevin Emmons.
Oh, Kevin Emmons. Sorry, Kevin, but congrats, Kevin Minnick.
Kevin Minnick was in here earlier
All
talking
right.
about the Phils. Yes, congratulations to Kevin on making the Hall of Fame.
Kevin-
Made a couple Hall of Fames this year.
Right, Kevin.
Well deserved.
Yeah, no doubt. Kevin and I are excited about our Phils.
Number 7, Cedar Creek. 3 knots of the week for them. Be sure to go back and look at those. Incredible week for them. 46-34. They beat Atlantic City at home. Cedar Creek. And Burlington Township and Cedar Creek, both Group 3 schools, off to good starts, high expectations. We'll see. Group 3 looks a little bit wide open, so we'll see how these teams fare for the rest of the season. At number 8, Shawnee. Hey, look, they earned their way here. They haven't lost in South Jersey. They beat Camden High on the road. So we have Shawnee at number 8. They play RV with a chance to make an even bigger statement. Shawnee could go from out of the best 11 to pretty high up there pretty quickly. It's a big game.
Big game at home. Home opener, I think, for the Renegades.
Yeah, how about that? Number 9, Camden High. We talked about their inconsistencies early. I think Camden High is, what do they say in the stock market? You buy low. I wouldn't say this is buying low, but I would say it's okay to invest in Camden High right now.
Well, if you bought early, you're lost. But
Right.
if you buy now, I think you're
you
good.
buy now, you're probably good. Tough test at Spirit, and they still got to play Winslow. I mean, the schedule isn't easy, but if you're looking at games that could prepare you for postseason success, I think Camden's worth a look. You got Kingsway number 10, a team that they beat Timber Creek last week, scored a lot of points. I still like what they have at quarterback. I like what they have on the coaching staff. Hendricks is one of the best around. Had that tough loss to Camden, but way to bounce back last week. And then at 11, Seneca, who hosts Haddonfield on Friday.
One of those games we talked about.
Seneca, another team, Group 3, a team that
It's got a good vibe.
Tarico at quarterback, Diorio at coach. Good vibe for Seneca. I want to send a shout out to everybody who watched the show and everybody who compliments the show.
And
It
they
means the
can
world
watch
to
it
us.
again, like anytime they want. They can just rewatch it.
They can watch it anytime. This thing will be on YouTube fairly soon, and then we'll have the audio on Spotify also tomorrow. Rod?
I just wanted to say to everybody watching, please share it out. Send it to your coaches, players, different people, because it's really an informative, sorry. And some of the players don't know about the show. So let's try to, reach so everybody can get to see it.
Yeah. The other, at the Touchdown Club banquet, David Pearson of Deptford was there, and I met him. Great kid. And I said, oh, man, you had one of our knots of the week. He's like, what was that?
Right.
I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Go back
My-
and watch. And I will say this too. We had this happen last week a couple times. If you're mentioned in the show, kids, and you put that on Instagram or whatever, screen grab that and tag me, man. We'll continue to promote
Right.
whatever you did last week.
Who was teasing me from Riverside? Terrence.
Yeah,
T-Bird.
T-Bird.
T-Bird. He put it up there. He said, Coach,
was-
next week I will. I'll hold it high and tight.
Because I thought he was winking, and I said, he was kind of flapping a little bit on the touchdown. And he's like, yeah, next week. And he gave me a little.
You said, come on, you got to hold that high and tight. He said, sorry, Coach, I will.
Yeah.
So there you go, man.
Well, at least he didn't say, be quiet, old man. So that was nice of him,
That's
right?
true. He said that. No. I will say this too, Mac. Mac, you got a good message. I think I want you to put it out there, and that is play every game like it's your last. Live
Well,
every moment like it's.
Yeah, I mean, I said
Where
earlier in
do
the
you
show, there's some guys hurt close to me. I mean, my guys on Tommy's team know Tommy's done for the year. My guy, we've been on the show, we've talked. Tommy's a lacrosse player, but he loves playing football at Shawnee football, and he's not playing anymore. He's done for the year. He's getting a procedure done tomorrow, back for spring. But people try to, a lot of times you get people caught up in the next thing, the next week, the next team, the next, this, that. We used to tell our guys, and I'm so happy and proud that my son wants to be a Shawnee Renegade. He wants to play for his high school team, and that doesn't mean, everybody's playing for a team, right? Yeah. And I guess my comment to people out there is, you never know when you're not going to be playing with that team, and you never know when things might happen, and you might get tweaked, and you might have to sit out a week, a month, a season, So play every game like it's your last, and enjoy every moment, because it's high school. It's high school sports, whatever that may be. I mean, what's the NCAA commercial said? Most of these guys are going professional and other things besides sports, and that's the reality. I mean, it's about enjoying the times and the moments with the other stuff. You read the yearbooks, you read the memory stuff. A lot of times it's like, what's your favorite time? It was the team meal. It was the time in the locker room. It was the bus ride home from. I mean, when we get together and talk about our old teams, very rarely you're talking about certain plays. You're talking about.
You don't remember too many of them.
Yeah, you talk about the time and the way home and the,
right.
and all that fun stuff. So bringing it back, shout out, prayers to my guy.
Yeah.
Hopefully everybody's thinking about
Feel
Tom.
better, Tommy.
Yep, and and I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there in South Jersey dealing with some issues and that are banged up a little bit. Rod, I know your guys,
Yeah, he's going through similar thing with the hamstring right now. Hasn't played a game yet, and they're going into week 3. So,
Right.
and this is his grad year.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean,
it could be done. Like this could be it for him.
Right, and it's crazy. So as I know as parents, it's tough, and you're watching there, and you want the best for your kids, and just realize that they're out there. They're all doing their best. They're all trying to do the right things for their teams, and teammates. You just see the vibe of the kids, and win or lose, those kids they spend so much time together. In the off season, in the practice. Whether they're allowed to tackle to the ground or not, right? And they're not allowed, and whether practice starts a little or game season starts a little earlier, they're still spending a ton of time with each other. So, play for your brothers, play for your teammates.
Yeah, yeah. Play for the guy next to you, and play every play like it's your last. And to everybody, live every day like it's your last.
Amen.
I was, yesterday I was in the city. I'll say this briefly. I was in the city and I saw a squirrel with an entire piece of pizza in his mouth, and I said, "I'm going to live like that guy today." And that's it. Hey, you know what? Go for the whole slice.
So you went down to Max and got a pie.
Go for the whole slice. Appreciate everybody watching. If you missed any of this show, please go back and watch it. Share it. We're going to have it on YouTube. We'll have it on Spotify. It'll be there for you. This is our second week. We ironed out some of the wrinkles. I think we're getting there. All good. Thank you, as always, for your support. Thank you especially to Rod Self and his company, the D2 Sports Network. He is the guy who puts it all together here at beautiful Studio B. I can't recommend him more. If you need a first-class studio, contact Rod. He's got studio time, photo shoots, podcasts, anything you need. He will take care of it. He has taken care of us for a number of years now. Thank you, Rod.
Winning is sufficient glory for all. Said it in the beginning. I'm going to say it at the end.
Winning is sufficient glory for all. There you go. We'll see you next week where it's Sufficient Glory on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. on South Jersey's Sufficient Glory days. Mark Trimble, Tim Mack, Rod Self. We'll see you next week. Go watch some football. As Max says, go on out and sit in the bleachers. Don't watch it at home.
Go Phils.